Thanks again to all the sponsors. Thanks to all of you for coming out.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm from Agora, and I'm doing this long-form journalism project about mental illnesses. And if I'm correct, you have previously mentioned being diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that has ever affected your music career, either negatively or positively.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good question. When I was 13, so basically from the time I was in school until I was about 13, teachers didn't know what was wrong with me. About every week, my teachers would call in my mom, who is the sweetest person in the world and always backed me. They would call her in and be like, "How much sugar do you give your child?" And they'd be like, "We can't contain him. He is rambunctious. His behavior is insubordinate. He is just terrible. He's making everybody laugh while I'm trying to teach them, and he's the worst. He's just your child. You need to get something on him or get him on something to calm him down." So my mom takes me to a child psychologist, and I'm just like, "What's that? That's cool. Oh, great. Hey, how are you?" And I'm just like bouncing around the room, and then like in little moments where I get really sad, and then I'm just like, "Just kidding. Oh, I'm really happy." So it was like really, really crazy. And the guy ended up, leaving the room for like 20 minutes, comes back, and he's like, "Well, you have a very strong case of ADHD." And I'm just like, "Cool, what's that?" And they put me on medication. I took that for about a year, and it freaked me out. I didn't like who I'd become. Because it's like, for me, this is what it was like. It's not the same for everybody, but for me, it was like, I'm inside this body, and I'm watching myself behave a certain way, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it was terrifying. It scared the shit out of me. I was so scared. And I was maybe 15 at the time that or 14 or 15 when I told my mom, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I did it originally like, oh yeah, no, I get pills? Cool. Like I want to try these. So I tried them out and it weirded me out, and then I stopped taking them. And I took them again for like 6 months when the band started getting really a lot bigger, started touring. And I remember just being in a hotel room one night and taking all the pills. I had like 60 count of each, and I was just like, I'm done. I can't do it. I would rather be myself and cope with this. I don't want to just numb this. And it took a while though for me to understand that. But it definitely affects everything I do. I mean, it's not like it is a detriment to anything I do by any means. Everybody has moments where they bounce around and multitask, and I mean, we're all basically ADD children because we sit on our phones and watch Netflix and talk on the phone and talk to our friend and write on this thing and listen to music and doing 8 things at once. So I just started to realize like, oh, I have control. I can do what I want. And luckily, I've been able to talk to people and get through certain things where it now has a positive effect, where I use all that energy to expel into like creating stuff, which is great. Thank you, by the way, for that.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
And journalism shout out.
Yo, yeah. Hello.
Hello, my name is Alejandra. I'm from here in Los Angeles. My friend Cyclali, she wished she came, but she couldn't. So can you tell her you love her?
Tell her hi for me. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your music. It calmed me down like when I'm really nervous. So your music is awesome.
You. That's awesome.
And I want to know what's the highest note you could sing.
Highest note? I don't really know. I have never measured my range. You want me to try?
Sing it.
Okay, I haven't warmed up. Let's see. But that's like belting. That's not trying to control it with vibrato or anything. If I try to do that, it gets a little lower because that's harder to control.
That was the beginning of Angel of Death by Slayer.
Yeah. And lowest note? Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, by the way. I don't know. Okay. Somebody who recorded that, tell me what note that was.
Yeah. Dance, monkey, dance. I'm gonna get Seinfeld up here and be like, tell us a joke, make us laugh.
The funny thing about airplane food.
Hi, my name is Mason. How's it going?
Mason, nice.
I'm from Agora, like my friend. I wanted to know, what are some of your favorite concert venues that like you've toured in? Oh,
concert venue, like just anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of my favorites in LA is still the Wiltern. I love the Wiltern. It's just a great venue. Let me think. There's a place in Atlanta called the Tabernacle that we broke, technically. I didn't technically break it. Everybody else did. But it broke during one of our shows. And I remember the first time we played that, and that was really a huge moment for me. There's a place in Arizona called Marquee Theater, which I really love, because that was still another one of my first shows. It's like usually places that really hold a special place in my heart just through history. But yeah, LA, it's Wiltern. That's like my favorite spot. It just sounds the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Hi.
Hi.
I like your cat ears.
Thank you. I'm Layla.
Hi, Layla.
Two things. I love your socks.
Oh, thank you. These socks are popular.
And thank you for being the world's hottest demon in Emperor's Clothes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I meant
Did
to
I
open
convert
with
you to
that. I'm
Satanism?
sorry.
No, I'm just-
that was actually my first thing I was going to say. I forgot.
You make the hottest demon. Is that what you were going to say? Okay. Thank you very much.
This is not a profound question at all, but you were talking about Friends earlier, and I was wondering if, like, which Friends character you relate to the most and why.
That's great.
That's a great
Thank you.
I think that's also on the Proust questionnaire.
That is impressive.
Which Friends character are you?
Which friends would you be? I think, for me, you know what I realized watching it again? Every time I watch it, I go, man, these people are so dysfunctional. I would never want to be these people. Monica has OCD and can't control it and is also the loudest person in the world. Rachel's a snob. Just
Phoebe's
the worst.
real dumb.
Phoebe's real dumb. Joey's really dumb. Chandler's just a smart ass. Ross is too whiny. I don't know. I think I'd probably be Gunther. I'd be serving the coffee. What a shitty, like, hipster answer. I'd be Gunther.
Well,
guys
in
know
the
who that
second
is?
season, in the 4th episode, there was
It's
this
really when he
character.
blossomed. Gunther blossomed in the 3rd season, episode 6. No, that's... I've always liked Gunther. I always felt bad for him. He always wanted Rachel, and he was the sweetest guy in the world. Bought her cat for $1,500. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, crazy. Thank you for that, by the way.
Nobody asked, but I'm a Rachel.
Yeah. You're Rachel.
Hey, I'm JJ, and I'm
How's it
from
going?
Fullerton.
Awesome.
I was just wondering, what's your craziest fan experience?
Craziest fan experience? Let's see. Fan experience. I had one thing happen. It didn't happen directly to me, but I got it sent to me in a screenshot from someone at the office. This was like 5, maybe 6 years ago. Adam from Fueled by Ramen had texted me and said, hey man, this just showed up for you. And the first picture was just an envelope. I was like, okay, cool. So can you like forward it to me? He's like, oh no, just wait, it gets better. And he kept sending me pictures. And there was a bracelet. I was like, dude, this isn't getting weird. This isn't like
It's like
any
an
weird
unboxing
shit.
video.
Yeah. I was like, exactly. I'm a little kid, just like, it's chocolate. So he kept sending pictures and like revealing. I'm like, oh, what is that? And then he pulled this thing out that looked like the Blair Witch symbol, but it was made out of hair. And the said fan had written and said, hey, this is my hair. Please put it on your like table in your room or something. And he said that to me, and I was just like, yeah, you can definitely keep that. So that was a little strange. Like, that's kind of where I draw the line. But that might be the weirdest that's ever gotten, luckily.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, right? The what? Oh, Milkfic, that's not like really an experience. That's just like that's fans wanting to do the South Park thing, the Craig by Tweak, like the, make these two guys fuck and like put some food in it or something. But that's not really like an experience. This is something that like related to me directly. What's that? What? The what? No. It took me a second. I was like, what song? Oh, I did do a song to that.
Again, not the way we ask questions.
Hey!
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi,
it
my
going?
name's Kylie.
Hi, Kylie.
I want to ask you, what human trait do you think you learned quickly or more in depth than having any other profession? Like, what made you...
What, human trait?
Yeah, what human trait you learned more in depth or quickly than having any other job?
Oh, honestly, what I learned was like how to keep your mouth shut, and that's strictly about when you're doing interviews and people love to goat. They love to push you into this area of just like, so if like just hypothetically they butter you up too, and they're just like, yo, by the way, you're great. So by the way, I mean, if you had to pick like an artist that you just fucking hate, you know what I mean? Who would that be?
You're forgetting to do the English accent, because
Right.
that's what
If you
comes along
had,
with that.
like a perfect song that was the worst, what would it be and why? And like, why do you fucking hate these people? So that's like really how they would do it, and so I had to learn over time, just like, nope, not saying it, or just saying it about my friends. But that was something that I had to learn over time, because I got a big mouth. But I wasn't about to like fall into that trap. So you learn like human characteristics very well, coming in contact with so many different people every day. You learn more about people in general, but yeah, that was something that I had to learn pretty quickly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
I'm Mariana. I'm from San Diego.
Hi.
And I just wanted to let you know I've been a huge fan since the Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
Thank you.
And actually is one of the reasons I picked up a mic and decided to be a singer and a musician.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Like, I don't know, it's like recently throughout the years, I've kind of lost wanting to do that. But when Death of a Bachelor came out, it just sparked it back in me. It's
that's
like,
great.
I want to go ahead and do this again. As a matter of fact, I was talking about it on the way over here. I was like, one of these days, I'm going to tour with Brendan Urie. One of these days, I'm going to sing a song with him.
There you go.
So,
I back it. Thank you.
I think she's saying her band is better than Panic at the Disco.
By the way, you should check us out. We're better than you. I'm not Pete. I will not listen to it. No, I'm just kidding.
my question is, during, I know you're talking about like, recently I heard for that one, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm like forgetting my question. I'm
Oh, it's
sorry.
okay.
But for like Queen inspired, you know, that bridge.
Yeah.
For
Emperors, yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
For Emperor's New Clothes. But before you got to recording that record, did you like have a hard time, you know, becoming inspired, like, or did you instantly think, you know what, I want to hit it on like Sinatra, I want to do Queen, and like, or what really inspired you, you know, to go the direction you went with Death of a Bachelor?
Yeah, thank you. So I never lost inspiration. I always had the inspiration to do stuff by listening to other people, but it never seeped in the way it does now, where you can hear that I'm trying to do Sinatra, or you can hear I'm trying to mimic Queen. Because now I think it's a more sonic resemblance, where I'm not copying them, but I'm using them to push my music in a further forward-thinking direction. And that's the difference. That it took me time to learn that. That's a craft in itself, to try to use those inspirations and those samples. I mean, it's very hip-hop-esque. They use those samples for their own device, and yeah, it just took time. It definitely took time. But I know what you're talking about, because when you get in that lull and you're just like, I don't know if there's days where you just don't want to show up. But the best piece of advice I ever got was from Rob Mathis, who I've worked with. He produced the second album, and he's been doing strings from that point on. And he just told me, listen, just show up, which meant get out of bed, go out, meet some people, get some stories, and then you're going to have the inspiration to do it. You just got to get the hell out of bed. And that was really what got me out of it. Thank you, by the way, for that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's amazing advice.
Yeah. It worked for me,
awesome.
yeah.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
My name is Diana from Bellflower, California. And before I ask my question, I just want to say that you really mean a lot to me, and I just
Thank
really
you.
love you. So just thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
But my
I
question,
reciprocate the love. Thank you.
But my question is, out of all the songs you've written, which one means the most to you?
Oh, that's tough. That's the cliche thing too. It's like picking one of my kids. I'll pick one of my kids. I don't give a shit. that one will go to college now. So this, to me, I always pick the new one because I'm most excited about the new thing I'm doing, which I think most artists are like that. So for me, Death of a Bachelor, the title track was one that was so frustrating. I got to that 5-point cycle and I hit the 5th point, and I was so just irked at how I couldn't get past this wall. And then it took me going back and looking at stuff that I had done and kind of Frankensteining this idea to work out. So that was something that was a learning experience. I didn't know that, oh yeah, I can do that. That's an option. But it took time to get frustrated and go through that cycle to really make that happen. But that one I'm just incredibly proud of, because I don't think I've written something like that before. And that's always what I'm seeking to do, Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We are almost out of time, but we'll see.
Yeah, fuck it. You guys want to sleep here? Let's do that. We'll just chill here.
Right when you said that, I saw this guy in the uniform
He's like, no.
look at his phone like,
fuck, dude, come on.
I got shit to do, man.
Fair enough. How's it going?
Hi, my name's Nick.
What's
I'm
up?
from Santa Clarita.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask you, in songs like Death of a Bachelor and Emperor's New Clothes, you use your falsetto. I wanted to know, what advice could you give to singers who are trying to work on their falsetto, and how did you work on your falsetto?
Oh man, that's good. So,
and how did you incorporate it into music? Like, how do you find it appropriate?
Fair enough. So when I did like 2 to 3 months, not 23, 2 to 3 months of voice lessons before we started touring. Because I was like, well, I'm the singer, probably should learn how to sing and not blow my voice out. I started getting all these tips. And the teacher at the time, his name was Jeff Skousen. He was in Las Vegas, and he told me, there's this thing called the mixed voice. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Because that's something I'm still trying to perfect even now, and I haven't got it down in the slightest. So, voice is tired, you've been touring for a while, go from chest to falsetto. But I always had the falsetto. I always mimicked my mom singing. So anytime I'm hitting a high note and it's not full like chest mixed voice, it's usually me mimicking my mom. Because she was a soprano, she was in the choir, and she'll just do like the, she'll like go up into the high range and do all that stuff. So if I'm doing that, I'm like mimicking how I learned it from my mom, watching my mom. And there's moments that I like to pick, because each voice is different. Mixed voice, you can split the range, but chest voice has more of a power to it, more of an like Frank Sinatra oomph, because he sings in that lower baritone. And then if I want to do some Freddie Mercury, I got to go falsetto, because if you're listening to like the Roger Taylor harmonies, and he's like, he's like going way out of his range, and it just sounds crazy to stack that stuff. So that you just got to pick your moments, Certain stuff, certain ideas will lend itself to creating something in falsetto, and also chest voice and all that stuff, at least for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
King Diamond, he's my favorite with falsettos.
There you go.
It's true.
Oh my goodness. Klaus know me too.
Hi.
What's up?
My name's Jacob. I'm from Orange County.
What's up,
and
Jacob?
in the bridge of Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, you mentioned losing a bet to a guy in a chiffon skirt and then making high. What's the story behind that?
So, Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, thank you for that question, is autobiographical. And it took me like basically a better part of a decade of partying to understand or have enough experience to write about parties. And so when I met the guy in the chiffon skirt, was at a bar, dude in a chiffon skirt, and yes, I know what chiffon is. And he's a beautiful man. And we ended up like hanging out, and he made this bet. He's like, I think actually there's one of his friends came up. He's like, hey, I bet you can't fit more hot dogs in your mouth than this guy can. And I was like, fucking, I've never tried. I'll give it a shot. So I gave it a shot, lost, and I was like, you help me redeem myself. I bet I can chug a beer faster than you. Lost. So I just lost 2 bets, and he's like, well, now you gotta wear these high heels for like the rest of the night until you leave. And I was like, perfect. So I did. But they had stools. I didn't have to stand in them all night, you know what I mean? So it worked out, but that's the story behind that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. I made him work. Y'all haven't seen me in high heels.
I'm gonna guess that we have time for like 2 more.
2 more?
I know.
Bruh.
So now the pressure's on to ask the 2 best questions
It better be good.
that have ever been asked.
Hi.
Okay, there's a lot of pressure. Hi.
Oh, hi. There's no pressure. You're good.
My name is Vivian Garcia. I was at the Tower Theater show. I don't know if Zach remembers me. I
Oh,
was
great.
with the girl who gave you cigars.
Oh, nice. Oh, he knows. He knows the cigar friend. Yeah.
And I don't know if you got my letter, but just like
It didn't have hair in it, did it? I'm sorry. Go on.
I just like wanted to reiterate that I'm just very thankful for like your music because it's like one of the fail-safe things that like calms me down. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I know I'm like wasting time here.
No,
but,
you're fine.
No, we're all fans.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I just really appreciate you for like everything you've done and worked through. And I know, getting to my question, I know one of the things that you've like vocalized on Periscope before is like your problems with anxiety. And oh my God, are you gonna cry?
No, I'm fine. Shut up. You're crying. Shut up.
This is gonna sound like I'm joking. This is a totally true story. I cried when I met James Hetfield from Metallica. So
Yeah.
I cried.
Hey, it happens. We're
I was
humans.
a grown
We cry.
man too.
We leak from our eyes. We're all good.
And so like I just wanna sort of like ask like as somebody with anxiety, like how do you personally cope with it and how do you come out on the other side? Like I said in my letter, like absolutely fucking victorious. Like how do you come out on the other side of that and go through the daily motions of dealing with it?
Thank you for that. I've had anxiety for a long time. I mean, the same guy who diagnosed me with ADHD was like, you also have anxiety disorder nervosa. And I was like, oh, cool, it sounds made up. Fuck you. But, there were times, there's still times where I get that panicking feeling, no pun intended. But, yeah, I did that to myself. I walked right into it.
Right at the end of the night, too.
But that still happens. What I've started doing, honestly, and this is going to sound like very Rick Rubin-esque, but I started meditating. And what I do is first thing when I wake up, either I work out and then meditate, or I meditate and then work out. So I spend 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes, in my studio, turn all the lights off, and I just put on like some white noise, and I sit there and I focus on what I'm thinking of first thing in the morning. and then I run through it. It can be anger, it can be sadness, it could be regret, it could be anything, negative, positive, whatever. And I sit there and I really fall into this hole where I'm focusing on it so much until I get to a point where I go, oh, it doesn't matter. And once I've hit that point, I'm good. Take a breath, start my day. But that really honestly helps me. And that's just how I personally like to start my day. And then anytime it happens when I'm in public, a couple deep breaths, count to 10. I'm usually okay. And then there's other times, sometimes it just can't be helped. And you just run with it. No shame. That's just who you are, you know what I mean? It's a part of you. Never feel ashamed for having that be an affliction, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. You're awesome. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, but I got to wrap this up now, and that was such a perfect place to end. I can't.
Oh, that was very sweet. Thank you.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you
Give it
all.
up one more time.
You guys are awesome.
Brendan, Panic at the Disco.
Appreciate it. Thank you.